Syndicratic. I am a sanctimonious prick of a host, Philj, and today we're diving into a situation that's been causing quite a stir recently, a clash of ideologies, free speech, and fiery consequences. So picture this: Sweden, a land known for its neutrality and tolerance, but recently has been making headlines for different reasons. Three individuals found themselves in hot water not because they were chilling naked by the fjords, but because they were involved in a violent riot towards Quran burning. Yeah, you heard me right. Quran burning. Now, it all started with an Iraqi anti-Islam activist named Salwan Momika, who in their infinite wisdom decided it would be a good idea to set fire to a copy of the Islamic holy book, the Quran, right in the heart of Sweden, specifically in the city of Malmö. Needless to say, this did not sit well with a lot of people, and it resulted in some serious unrest.
Hundreds of people have burned dozens of vehicles and clashed with law enforcement in an outburst of anger after an act of Quran burning took place in the city. Damage to property has been substantial. At the moment, the number of victims is unknown, but there were scenes of considerable violence.
Around 100 individuals gathered in response to this Quran burning spectacle. Let me tell you, things got pretty heated, both metaphorically and literally. Several vehicles got set ablaze, and a group of angry protesters tried to stop the burning, which led to showdown with the police and turning into a chaotic scene where officers were pelted with stones and some protesters even threw electric scooters at police vehicles. It's like a bizarre twist on a Swedish crime drama. Now, Salwan Momika isn't new to this whole Quran burning thing. He's been in it before, and his actions have caused diplomatic outrage across the Middle East. But here's the thing: Swedish authorities had actually given him a permit for his protest, citing their staunch free speech laws. However, it later emerged that the incident was being investigated for incitement of hatred, so free speech may have its limits after all. And this isn't an isolated incident. Scandinavian countries have witnessed a spate of Quran burnings this year. In June, Mamika set fire to a copy outside Stockholm's central mosque right when the Muslims were celebrating Eid al-Adha, one of the most important festivals in the Muslim calendar. Talk about bad timing. But it's not just Sweden. Neighboring Denmark has also seen its fair share of public Quran burnings. In fact, a Danish politician from the far-right party Stram Kurs burned a Quran outside the Turkish embassy in Stockholm earlier this year. This has led Denmark to consider banning public desecration of holy books. But then again, I guess it depends on what you call holy. If someone thinks their collection of tax law books is holy, doesn't that mean I can burn copies of it even in my own backyard? Sorry, Denmark, I'm going to do a world a favor and burn that shit to the ground. Sweden, on the other hand, is exploring legal means to abolish protesting involving burning texts in certain circumstances. So burning religious texts while standing at a crossroads or two dogs are shagging at the corner and there's a southerly wind is fine, but doing it while sitting on the john and smoking a cigar in your own home is absolutely fucking not. But fun. Let's dive into an important aspect of this situation. Burning books, especially religious texts, does not help the cause of criticizing religion. It's counterproductive and, frankly, reminiscent of some really dark chapters in history. But first and foremost, burning books, whether it's the Quran, Bible, Bhagavad Gita, Torah, Veda, Tripitaka, any other myriad religious text is a symbolic act of destruction. It sends a message, but that message is often lost in the flames. It's akin to religious book burning of the past, which we should all agree is a stain on human history. Remember the infamous bonfires fueled by intolerance, censorship, and hatred? We certainly don't want to go down that road again. Critiquing religion, or any belief system for that matter, is a legitimate intellectual exercise. It is essential for a vibrant society to encourage open dialogue, questioning, and even criticism. However, the method matters. Burning a book doesn't engage in a thoughtful discussion. It shuts it down. It alienates those who may have been open to hearing a different perspective. We're better than that. We should strive for a more nuanced and respectful approach to discussing religion and its role in society. There are better ways to critique Islam, or any religion for that matter. Engaging in respectful dialogue, presenting well-reasoned arguments, and providing evidence to support one's viewpoints are effective ways in challenging religious beliefs and encouraging critical thinking. Let's not forget that there are countless individuals within religious communities who are open to questioning and introspection. They may not be swayed by the burnt book, but they might be willing to engage in thoughtful conversation that challenges their beliefs. It's in these conversations that we truly make progress and help people better understand atheism and secular perspectives. It's essential for everyone, regardless of their religious beliefs, to maintain perspective and not lose their composure over a burning of a book, whether it's a religious text or any other piece of literature. It's like some people get absolutely outraged at the sight of the nation's burning flag. The question we should all ask ourselves is why? After all, it's just a piece of fabric, just as a book is just a collection of pages with words printed on them. Are our convictions so fragile that the mere destruction of a symbol or a book can shake our beliefs to the core? Isn't faith supposed to be resilient? It should be able to withstand criticism, questioning, and even the destruction of physical symbols. If a book is a foundation for your faith, it might be worth considering the strength of that foundation. The essence of a religious belief lies in the heart of the mind of the individual, not in the ink and paper of a book. If one's faith is solid, a burnt book shouldn't be a mere inconvenience, not a cause for anger and violence. In the end, let's all strive for a more rational and composed approach to these situations. Burning a book may be an act of provocation, but our response should reflect the strength and maturity of our beliefs, whether they are religious or secular. After all, it's just a book. In situations involving the burning of books or other symbolic acts, both the offender and the offended could benefit from a dose of maturity and perspective. It's a sign of a more enlightened society when we can engage in thoughtful discourse rather than resulting in outrage and provocative actions. Indeed, maturity calls for a more reasoned response when our beliefs are challenged or when we encounter offensive actions. Instead of reacting with anger or violence, engaging in constructive dialogue can lead to better understanding and ultimately progress. So, whether you're critiquing religion or defending it, let's all aim for a level of maturity that promotes healthy discussions and tolerance of different viewpoints. It's a step toward a more rational and harmonious world. So there you have it, a clash of values, free speech, and fiery protests in Sweden and its Scandinavian neighbors. It's a complex issue that raises questions about where the line should be drawn when it comes to freedom of expression and respect for religious beliefs. But one thing's for sure, it's a situation that's been causing quite a bit of heat in the cold north. In conclusion, while it's important to critique religion and promote secularism, let's do so in a way that fosters understanding, not hatred. Burning books is a symbolic act that does more harm than good, and there are far more effective and respectful ways to engage in the important dialogue about faith and belief systems. In other words, both sides need a healthy dose of grow the fuck up.